All right, well, this is fun. Haven't done this in a while.
Still your number one podcast named after Brett Veach.
All right, well, appreciate you guys sticking around.
Hey, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Veach Season. We are your guest hosts, Rocky Magaña and Kramer Sansone, filling in for the indomitable Brett Veach himself, who, as always, is off saving the world. I'm sure rescuing kittens out of trees while also building another Super Bowl championship roster, while also at the same time making sweet love to his wife, and also at the same time probably coming up with like a cure for cancer and writing a new philosophy that's going to bring about world peace. So that being said, for episode 567, which we are going to put in the books tonight, he asked us if we would fill in just one more time for him and pitch in for him. And so, as always, we said, Brett, got a lot going on a Monday night here when we record this. The Olympics are on. I'm not really sure if I can miss like the badminton group play. I'm really into hammering the shuttlecock right now. Usually I'm all about Chiefs 24/7, but for 2 weeks, every couple of years, I'm just like, that's a wicked googly, or, oh, did you see him curl that curling stone, or whatever other kind of crazy shit sport is going on. Like eventing is a sport. Like there's a sport called the eventing event, and we'll get into that here in a minute on who medaled, what eventing team medaled in the eventing event in this year's Olympics. But all that being said, welcome back to Veach Season. We're happy to be here. We're still not canceled yet, but the night is young. Who knows what kind of crazy shit we're going to say that's going to get us
Rocky,
into trouble.
We've been canceled once.
We have been canceled once, but then they let us back on the air. Apparently, whatever we said wasn't quite bad enough. And I tell you what, challenge accepted. If you want to get me off the air, I'll give you something to get me off the air, right? No, we don't want to be off the air. We love you guys. We want to stay on the air literally for as long as possible. Like, you guys could stop listening to the show and we'll still probably make these episodes every single week, because I'm married and this is the only social interaction that I get on a weekly basis, right, with my little kids. And so Krame, he's my best friend, and I just want to talk to him, and I don't get to talk to him if I don't make this podcast. So this is really the only way I get to hang out with my friend. And you guys just get to listen in on two buddies hanging out every single week is really what this whole podcast has always been and what we always wanted it to be.
Yes, sir.
So all that being said, Krame, I love you, buddy. You're looking beautiful. Holy shit. If you guys aren't on YouTube watching this, you need to get on YouTube, because I tell you what, Kramer Sansone looks like a mix between a Backstreet Boy, NSYNC, and like a Greek sex symbol or something, or an Italian sex symbol. Like, he looks like he is
interesting,
just rolled in from the markets of Sicily at a farmer's market, holding fresh bread and plump tomatoes, and he just walked up to your wife, and she would just like completely wanted to leave you and throw it all away just for one chance and one shot with this beautiful man. That's a fresh haircut, Krame. You look great, buddy.
It's the Italian charm I have over here, I guess. No, it feels nice. I don't have I can feel the breeze in the back of my neck now, and it feels pretty good, especially when it's being hot here in Kansas City. Yeah, heat index is in the hundreds. It's hot out here, so I need to get this mop cut. So I feel great. I lost some weight that way, so it was good.
Look at you, just slimming down. Got to cut to make weight for the next fight.
Exactly.
So you got to get that hair weight off. I'm gonna get a haircut tomorrow. I was going to get a haircut last night, but my wife was like, I'm tired, and I didn't want to go to the barbershop. I was going to make her cut my hair this week. So I'm kind of at her schedule. Sometimes I go too long between my haircuts to where I'm ashamed to go into the barbershop, because when I walk in the barbershop, I feel like they should charge me double because it's been so long since I've been in there. Or I go to the same guy every single time, and sometimes he'll look at me, which is like a look of disappointment, just like, you looked so beautiful when I was done with you last time, and you come back in here
and you look like this,
looking like a dog. That's just like looking like a dog. That's like the Shaggy Dog from the movie The Shaggy Dog, mixed with like a scene from Something About Mary, right? when Ben Stiller was getting ready to go out on the date, like Can I say it? Can I say what I'm thinking?
I go for it.
Just showing up and they're just looking like a jizz-soaked shaggy dog. just matted hair, long, greasy from the heat. Just saying, help me.
Oh,
my hair. I could snap my hair off. Like I could just take it and break it like a effing icicle.
Got enough milk on you. That's also do it too.
Yeah.
Oh man. I go. Well, here's the thing. I go to the get a haircut. Like the same exact place I've been going to the past 4 years. I think all 4 times I went to go get a haircut, I don't recognize any of the people who are in there cutting hair because I know for a fact they rotate them women over there. It's Lady Jane's from Men's here in Kansas City is where I go to, and it's like I don't recognize any of these women, so I'm just gonna first come first serve, I guess.
Yeah, so you got to get your guy. You always got to get a guy. Like I was at
the girl that cut my hair. I'm going back to her. I'm going to make sure this thing stays this way.
My barber, it was cool though because it is good to having a guy. Where the other day I was at Chipotle picking up lunch and I looked over. My barber was in line next to me, and that was the moment where I felt the shame. Where he looked at me, he was like, "When you gonna come and see me, man?"
Wait, did he recognize you?
Yeah, he recognized me. He was like, "Hey, man, what's up?" I was like, "Oh, hey, buddy, what's up? How you doing?" He's like, pointed at my hair. He was like, "When you gonna come and see me?" And I was like, "Dude, I promise." But instead, I'm gonna make my wife cut my hair first. I might have my wife just like trim my hair so it doesn't look as horrible as it does right now.
Go in,
and then I'll go in and get an actual haircut. That way, I walk in, I'm like, "Look, my hair just has been growing really slow."
No, treat it like how NFL players used to treat training camp back in the day, where they didn't work out at all during the off season. They sit back on the couch, eat potato chips, and get ready for next time they get the invite to go to training camp. Just do that. Just show up.
Roll in there looking like Vince Wilfork,
and then make weight by the time that you get out of training camp, and then you're all set. Yeah, just go on in there, Rocky.
Just go in there and just do it. Yeah. You get paid to do this anyway, man. Even though I feel like I should double tip him because I feel like, man, I think he just has to take so much time to cut my hair when I go in there like that. Guys, let us know in the comments. Like if you wait too long to get a haircut, do you feel bad going into the barber and making them like do twice as much work? It's like if you hire somebody to like clean your house and your house is like super dirty. It's like, well, you kind of feel like you need to pick up your house before the cleaners come a little bit because you don't want them to have to like do that much work. You also feel like if you have to do that much work, are they going to do that good of a job, right? You don't want them
paying you to clean my house.
Corners.
I don't care what it looks like when you get here.
You've obviously never paid anybody to clean your house, Kramer.
No, because I clean my own house.
Yeah, well,
so I can't make the money like you to go and pay off the person to come, a cleaning crew to come in.
Listen, honest to God, like we have somebody that comes in once a month and just cleans our bathrooms because with
Rocky,
the toddler.
The toddlers. Yeah, I'd blame them too.
The toddler, like literally just like the other day, he was talking to me while he was peeing, and he's like, "Dad, look at my Lego, just full on stream, just turned around." And we're talking just wall, sink, floor, shower, just full. I had to jump out of the way. It was like that game you played as a kid when the sprinkler was going. You tried not to get wet. You tried to run and dodge the sprinkler, except for it was a stream of my child's urine that I was dodging across our bathroom to try not to get wet. And then you look at it, and you're like, I'm going to wipe it up and clean it up, obviously, but like you know that you're not getting it all. There's urine in the crevices, right?
Yeah. So, easily.
And so we have somebody that comes in once a month and just like mops our floors and cleans our bathrooms. That way, it's like I know I'm not doing that good of a job when I clean it. like I need professional help.
I respect it. I do.
Just to get us back to a baseline, because guess what? 12 hours after these people leave, it needs to be done all over again. Like it's just like sometimes I feel like I'm just throwing money down the drain because they'll come while I'm at work, while I'm working at home, and I'll hear them and they'll be clean. I'll walk out and the house will be looking nice. The floors will be done. The bathrooms will be clean. And then my son comes home, right, and just like pees on the sink on accident, right, or something. And I'm just like, oh well. There goes that money I just spent to like get us back to a baseline. So,
Beach season, baby.
Beach season, baby.
You never know what you're going to get on here.
You never know what you're going to get. You're going to get 10 minutes of us talking about toddlers peeing on the floor, jizz-covered shaggy dogs and barbershop etiquette. All that being said, top of the show, like we say every single week, what's hot with Krame, dog? You know what I mean, Krame?
So
and,
I think we have an intro.
We have an intro. Hold on, I'm new to this.
What's hot with Krame Dog?
So what we've noticed last week, I reported it when good friend Ron Kopp Jr. joined us on the show, and what just fell behind me? I think it was a cat. Talk about NCAA Football 25. Well, that's out, and now this week, Madden is releasing their Madden ratings for the players today on Monday of the recording of this Veach season episode. They released wide receivers, and they also released the safeties group. Now, Rocky, what speed do you think Xavier Worthy had, rating-wise?
Speed?
Yeah.
Got to be at least 98.
Nailed it right on the head. Worthy was a 98 speed. He was also a 75 overall. The highest rated wide receiver was tied, actually, Marquise Hollywood Brown and also Rashee Rice, which, by the way, those two dudes have 95 speed as well. So this is a team full of speed. Like, this might be the new Legion of Zoom, what we're seeing here in Kansas City with the whole everybody's quick. And if you're on the safety side, they've released the highest rated secondary guy, Justin Reed, 83 overall. So another guy, Byron Cook, 75. That's the second guy. So it's interesting.
Dang. Would they give Mecole Hardman on speed?
Hardman on speed, I want to say it was a 93.
At least be a 91, something.
Madden ratings. Gotta pull that one back up. I didn't have his by 6.
I'm sorry. Look at me. I put you on the spot.
Hey, you put me on the spot right here, Rocky.
I thought you would have committed it to memory.
Oh no, the other ones I did commit it to memory, but you stumped me when it comes to that one. We're almost there. We're applying the filters.
We would never do good on Stump the Chumps on A10 Sports. We would
Mecole Hardman, 95 speed.
Well, look at that. We got 395s. Oh,
yeah.
Holy moly, guacamole. Okay, there we go. So the Chiefs are straight up a speed team in this new Madden, the new Legion of Zoom.
I'm shocked.
I'm not angry about that. I'm not angry about that at all. That's pretty cool. Also, Kramer, do you know what else is cool?
What's that?
We have a 5-star review this week.
Whoa, we do.
Yeah, we have another 5-star review this week, and I will bring it up because we're going to read it live on the air like we do every single week. Yeah. If you leave a 5-star review, we will read it live on the air. That way, anything you want to say, good, bad, embarrassing, ugly, beautiful. If you want to write a haiku, we'll read it on the air. If you have a short story that you've written and it'll fit in the comment section, we'll read the whole thing on the air. I don't know what the character limit is on these reviews, but as long as you write this, we'll read whatever you want on the air. It could be a romance novel about Travis Kelce and a werewolf.
It's up to you. If you want to, go for it. We'll read it.
Novel about yourself and Kramer Sansone and how much you want to,
How about this? Actually, how about your Christmas story that they're filming in Kansas City? What your version of it would be?
Yeah, right. You could write whatever you want.
Oh yeah,
whatever you want. We'll read it here live on air. We'll have a 6-hour-long podcast because we're reading a novel. Reading a novel written by you live and on the air because you gave us a 5-star review. So just some food for thought when you're leaving these reviews. The longer, the better, because then you get more play,
more out of it.
So this review this week, Kramer, is actually from a friend of the show who was on the show last week, from our good friend Ron Kopp Jr. Left us a 5-star review, and he said, "Serta and the guys deserve every listen for sustaining and growing all the shows. They work hard to hit every angle there is to hit about the Chiefs. Hardest working pod network. Let's go, Ron Kopp.
Oh, thank you, Ron.
The sheriff himself, the preeminent Kansas City Chiefs film guru, Ron Kopp Jr. himself, left us a 5-star review. And Ron, we love you.
Of course we do, Ron.
You're always welcome on the show whenever you want. Mi Veach season es su Veach season, hermano.
Si, senor.
You didn't know that we're a bilingual podcast, y'all.
That's very true.
Yeah, we are. And so, but you know what time it is now, Kramer, right? And that is Pop Kingdom coming at you right now. All right, we got a busy week of Pop Kingdom this week, Kramer. There's a lot going on in the world. And the first thing that we're going to talk about right off the top, and you got some, in the words of Desi Arnaz and Lucille Ball, Kramer, you have some explaining to do. You guys have a 7th round draft pick on the Raiders by the name of, what's his name? Trey
Taylor.
Trey Taylor. Trey not going to be on the team for much longer.
Yeah.
Is more like it. Trey is actually the number of days that he has left on the team before he gets cut. After
he's not going to get cut. He probably won't have playing time. He's not getting cut by any means.
I mean, he should be. I mean, if he's a 7th round draft pick, that literally, if you guys haven't seen this yet, 7th round draft pick Trey Taylor, after practice at training camp, a fan brought Kermit the Frog knockoff puppet dressed in a Patrick Mahomes jersey with Patrick Mahomes-ish curly-ish hair on the top and handed it to Trey Taylor, and he put it on his hand, and in a high-pitched voice, he said, "I'm a bitch," and then laughed, and everybody was laughing. Oh, we call Patrick Mahomes a bitch. Okay, Trey Taylor, who's never played a snap in the NFL, never played a single snap, 7th round draft pick, calling the reigning ESPN SB Male Athlete of the Year, the reigning Super Bowl MVP, the guy who's the quarterback of the Kansas City Chiefs, who won back-to-back Super Bowls, who is your most hated division rival and the most competitive prick in the NFL, who remembers things, who is touted for having a photographic memory, who also is petty as shit, because you know this because during the quarterback show, he let Max Crosby know that he remembered everything that he said, and he remembered his shenanigans, and then turned around and said, You woke up the wrong mother effer. You woke up the wrong mother effer, right? And so all this being said, 7th round draft pick Trey Taylor, who's never played a snap in the NFL, thinks it's a good idea to give the Chiefs bulletin board material and to call Patrick Mahomes a bitch.
I think rule 1 of the Patrick Mahomes rules is get down under thy skin of one opponent. I mean, that's all he's trying to do here. He's just trying to get underneath the skin. And the thing is, like, I don't condone it. I don't. I'm like, why are we giving him a cookie? Like, we're literally giving Patrick Mahomes a cookie for him to take, and take that cookie, eat it, and then score a touchdown. Like, that's what's exactly what he's going to do. So it's like, why are we giving more and more and more and more and more material to a guy that we seem can beat every other meeting basically between the two? And then now we're just going to probably get we're losing week. The first game that the Raiders play was in October, or is that November?
October 27th.
27th.
It's circled on the calendar now, Kramer Sansone.
Yeah, it is. That's a big game for the Raiders.
It is now.
That is a huge game now for the Raiders. That's a game that you have to win.
Because your head coach is on record saying that you have the Mahomes rules. Also,
I haven't heard anything of AP talking about this, about him after it. Haven't even seeked that information on it. I just
spoke about it. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, you go for it. I'm just flabbergasted.
He said it's been handled internally and it's over now. But guess what, Antonio Pierce? You don't get to decide when it's over now, because it's out there in the world. Mm-hmm. It's in the Chiefs locker room. It's on the bulletin board. It's like circulated on social media of everybody seeing what a dumb, idiotic, stupid ass mistake it was by this rookie to say that about the Chiefs. And everybody's saying, like we're not talking about poking the bear here. Like,
you're poking the Don.
They're poking the effing 3-headed Kraken hell beast from your worst nightmares.
That's in the same division. Like,
not just your same division, a team that already hates you, that you already hate, obviously too. But like they already hate you. Like, we already hate the Raiders. Like, and so you're gonna sit there and say that? Like, come on, Kramer. Like,
whoa. Hey,
come on, Kramer. That's your team.
I'm not condoning their actions. I might happen to like the Raiders, but it's like, why are we? Prove it to me in September. Not even September. Gosh, I'm thinking baseball wise. Prove it to me in January and February that you can do something before you can start putting your hand in a puppet. Like, please. Like, I'm getting sick and tired every single year watching this team just fail, and fail. Now you want to do this? It's like, what are we doing here? We're going back to square one. I don't want to go back to square one. This is a team that's the second best team in this division. I have yet to say that they're going to take on the Chiefs any time to dethrone them this season or the season after that or the season after that, because you just never know, especially if you have Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes. But the Raiders are still the second best team in this division by a landslide. And it's like, why are we still acting like we're childish out here? Let's do what you're supposed to do in training camp, get better to beat him, and then I guess talk trash after you beat him because you've never beat him.
You know what the difference is that the Raiders have regular season goals and the Chiefs have postseason goals. The Raiders' entire goal is to beat the Chiefs. Like that's their Super Bowl. That's their entire mission. They want to. If they win the division or they beat the Chiefs twice, then they've achieved their goals for the year. The beating the Raiders is nice for the Chiefs because we hate them, but it's a footnote in the overall goals on the year. The goal is a Super Bowl trophy, and I think that it was evident by Devontae Adams last year. He said the Chiefs are a team that respects the game and takes it to the grave, and so I have a lot of respect for the way they play football. Because he knows that over there, like football is everything. It's all they care about. Winning is all they care about. There's nothing else that matters. It's long-term season success where you're at the end of the year, not individual games. Honest to God, regular season more and more doesn't matter that much to the Kansas City Chiefs because when it's all said and done, we saw this last year. They're gonna do enough to be standing. Now they can't get cocky like they did at times last year and throw games away, but. I mean, if you just look at the past and what these kind of antics have done for the Raiders, right? In the Patrick Mahomes
it doesn't
era,
work. Just doesn't work.
Okay, so John Gruden in 2020 they win, and he doesn't like the smart aleck comment by a bus driver, not even a football player, not even a coach, not a member of the organization. A common fan makes a smart aleck comment to him, and so he says, "Well, we're going to drive a lap. We're going to make you drive a lap around the stadium, right?" To literally poke the bear, to make a point to a bus driver that has nothing to do with the league, the team, or the actual game. Like, that's so stupid. That's such a stupid,
Gruden.
Okay, like puff out your chest, like blah, 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 blah. Yeah, that's why he's not a coach. Well, that's not why he's not coaching the league anymore. There's a lot of reasons why John Gruden's not coaching in the league anymore.
Yeah.
But poor decision-making goes into those reasons as well. But then what happened after that? Is the Chiefs rattled off 10 victories. The only game that the next game that they lost was the final game of the year, but they were benching all their starters, right? And they were resting them for the playoffs. They go on, they end up facing the Buccaneers and losing the Buccaneers in the Super Bowl. But when the Raiders did that, when they puffed out their chest in 2020, the Chiefs responded by 10 straight victories and going 14-2 on the season. They would have gone undefeated the rest of the year after the Raiders did that if they would have played their starters in week 18 that year, right? And so then you follow up the next year, the very next time that the Raiders come back to Arrowhead Stadium after driving the victory lap, what do? Yannick Ngakoue huddles the entire team at midfield and stomps on the Chiefs logo. It didn't work out well for him, Kramer. I don't know if you remember that. 41-14.
Yep.
41-14. Just complete. The only stomping that happened that day was the Chiefs stomping the Raiders after that happened. So then we fast forward to 2023. The next time that the Raiders beat the Chiefs. And they beat the Chiefs on Christmas Day. Chiefs come out, play like garbage. Raiders play good defense. Zaire White runs the ball over them, right? Yeah, Jack Jones gets that big interception. Raiders outplayed them that day. What do the Raiders do in the locker room? Antonio Pierce says, I told you guys you could do that. I told you guys were a bunch of dogs. I told you just had to go out there and make it messy. Now, smoke your shit and smoke your cigars. And all the Raiders guys pull out these victory cigars and smoke them in Arrowhead Stadium.
To be fair, that was their celebration after every victory they had when AP was there. Just letting you know.
That's fine. But they're the only team that smokes cigars in the Chiefs Stadium.
Yeah. It's very true. Probably the last person who smoked in that stadium is Brad Lynn Dawson.
Just because you do it in every stadium doesn't mean it's not disrespectful. If I go to everybody's house and put my feet up on the dinner table when they invite me over for dinner, just because I do it everywhere doesn't mean it's not disrespectful.
It's fair.
So how'd the Chiefs respond to that? They won
their
a Super Bowl
in their building,
in their goddamn house, right? They won a Super Bowl in their stadium, right? And so history shows us that when you poke the hell beast, it doesn't end up well on your side. So 7th round draft pick picks up a Kermit the Frog puppet and calls him a bitch.
It's not smart.
Not smart. Anyway, we got too much to cover to dwell on this any much longer. But I just don't.
Your blood is boiling right now, Rocky.
I just haven't seen anything so stupid in my entire life. Like we're just talking about bad decision making. Like I wouldn't trust him to play on my football team. He obviously is prone to making bad choices.
It's true. That's a good point.
And it's funny because he went to Air Force, and you would think that with Air Force he would have like a little bit more
respect.
Yeah, some sort of respect or some sort of like, I don't know, like be able to be a little bit reserved and some self-control in what he says.
Yeah, you would think you honestly
filter,
would.
But apparently not.
Don't poke the bear. Just don't do
poke the bear. So, all right. Also, in other news, Clyde Edwards-Helaire missed out on practice today, and I think he missed the last couple of days. And so he opened up on there's a little bit more serious note. He opened up on social media that he suffers from PTSD, and he's been having a few episodes recently that he's working through. And he's going to be back out on the field, and that he's going to see Dr. T, which is the team therapist over at the Chiefs. The Chiefs keep on staff that they got on staff shortly after the Javon Belcher situation, purely for player mental health reasons. And it's been very, very helpful. Travis Kelce's talked about how helpful it's been. Tyreek Hill talked about how helpful it was to him in his personal life. Even Patrick Mahomes has talked about it. But first things first is there's this misconception amongst men, especially that it's a sign of weakness to ask for help. And asking for help I read this in a book. I probably said this before, but I believe it more than anything. I believe it in the very depths of my soul. Asking for help is not giving up. It's refusing to give up. It's saying that I'm at the end of my rope. I can't do this on my own, but I refuse. I refuse the alternative. Like, we know what the alternative is in a lot of cases. I refuse to lose my family. I refuse to lose my life. I refuse to lose my job and throw away my relationship with my kids and my wife and everything else that I could do to be self-destructive, to try to numb the pain that I'm currently feeling. And I refuse to go down that road, but I can't do it on my own, and I need help, but I refuse to give up, and I want to keep fighting. Please help me keep fighting. That's what asking for help and going to therapy is. Yeah. It's one of the bravest things I think you can do, especially as a man. It's been extremely, extremely revolutionary in my own personal life, if I'm going to be honest and vulnerable with you guys for a moment. I've been going to therapy for about a year now, and I could have made some very destructive personal decisions if I didn't come to that point of vulnerability to say that I need help and I can't do it on my own. And so I applaud Clyde for being open, being vulnerable, being honest about what he's going through. And I know as Chiefs Kingdom, just like Mitchell Schwartz, he opened up about it a few years ago too, that we rally around our guys and we love our players, and just sending nothing but love and respect to Clyde Edwards-Helaire today. And dude, 100% respect for being honest with us and letting us know where you're going through, and you're not going through it alone. We don't know the circumstances of your trauma and of your pain and of what you're going through and what your triggers are. But whatever those are, you're not alone, and you have people out there that love you, and we love you, man. And we are proud of you for seeking out the help.
And it come from Clyde, man. This is a natural caregiver. I mean, like, we already know what he wants to do outside of football. He wants to be a nurse. He wants to help people. So it's like, I'm glad he stepped up. I'm glad he did the right thing and seek that further of, hey, I need some help here. Because, I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. Promise
nothing
you,
at all.
Nothing wrong with seeking help. Like, it's always out there. There's somebody there. Hell, if something going on right now, just DM me. I'll talk to you. I don't care.
Yep,
like, I'll
100%. No matter how you're feeling right now, there are people out there that love you and need you,
Mm-hmm.
and they need you in this world, and they need you to be a part of their lives. Doesn't matter who you are, what you've done, what you're going through. And I know some people have done some shitty things. I've done some shitty things in my life. I think everybody has. And listen, like, that's life. That's humanity. I know we live in a cancel culture that has a lack of empathy and a lack of understanding. Everybody wants to act like they're perfect and they've never made mistakes in their lives. Good people do bad things. Bad people do good things. Good and bad, it's all a spectrum. And listen, whatever you're going through, you're not alone, and you are loved by people. So we need you. If you need anything, reach out to somebody, get help.
Yep.
Okay. That's enough of the serious note for this episode, though, because Kramer Sansone, like I teased at the top of this episode, it is the best 2 weeks out of every couple of years because it is time for the Olympics. I am not an overly patriotic person. You're not going to find an American flag bumper sticker on my car. I'm not going to hear me listen to Toby Keith or saying these colors don't run or anything like that on a regular occasion. But every 2 years, when either the summer or the winter Olympic Games happen, I turn into a blue-blooded, USA, F the commies, let's go, let's win every medal. We have to prove that we're the best blue-blooded American man who stands up for the anthem every single time we get a medal and sings along with it and tears up with joy and pride swelling in my chest. And it is that time of year. And I'm excited, Kramer. Are you excited for the Olympics?
I actually, yeah, no, I've dabbled in watching my favorite beach volleyball. I love it. That's my favorite sport to watch when it comes to that. The 2v2 aspect, can't get enough of it.
It's been great too. It's been a lot of good action in the beach volleyball. I want to start off the bat though, talking a little bit about the opening ceremony.
Ooh.
Kind of a hot button item. Harrison Bucker, newsflash. Yeah, yes, that dude was packing a sack of rocks. That's for sure.
Oh man, I was shocked.
I don't think I've ever seen anybody actually stuff their actual nutsack before. But that guy may have had surgery to get some testy implants. He might have put a couple kumquats in there or a kiwi or something. I mean, I don't know how long those things will stay fresh. Once they're inside of the body, but whew, that guy was packing a sack. That's for sure. But newsflash, Harrison Bucker didn't like the opening ceremony. And I understand why. Listen, where he's coming from, what his belief structure is, I understand that it was something that he didn't appreciate. From where I'm looking at it, and this is just my own personal opinion, you guys are more than welcome to disagree with me and let us know in the comments how stupid I am, how stupid you think I am. But listen, every single Olympic Games is full of weird shit. Every single Olympic Games opening ceremony, every Olympic Games closing ceremony is filled with over artistic, just weird crap. And what happens is, I imagine, is when they're planning these opening ceremonies and these closing ceremonies, is they get 30 art directors in a room and they say, okay, we have to come up with this beautiful artistic vision of this Olympic Games, and it's based on this and Dionysus and the history of France and the uprisings and the art and the Louvre and blah, 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 blah. And they get a whiteboard out and they start writing down all the things it has to be. Then they say, okay, now let's be expressionistic with this and let's do this. And it's just so forced and contrived and built and then rebuilt and then scratched out. And then they try to take inspiration and force it into this thing to make something that is quote unquote artistic. But any true artist will tell you that's not how inspiration works. It hits you like a lightning bolt. You're asleep at 2 a.m. You see a kid sitting in a coffee shop. You see a woman cross the street. You hear the pitch of a bird song, of a certain bird singing a song. Something happens that hits you and triggers something in your brain, and suddenly that muse and that inspiration hits you like a lightning bolt, and you see it, and it happens, and it flows out of you, and you're like, boom, mother effer, this is it. This is the thing that I'm going to create. This is my work of art and my offering to the world. Now, it doesn't work like that when you're like, okay, we have to have this ceremony that runs this time with these people at these locations. with these props, but on this budget, ready by this deadline. Like that's the time where it's like it just gets contrived and it's so manufactured, which is why every single Olympic Games you get this like half-baked artsy fartsy crap that makes no GD sense whatsoever. And then they try to be edgy with it and they throw in something like the Last Supper, and then suddenly you got people pissed off, right? But like also the people who are pissed off, it's like to some extent it's like I get it, but like you're also pissed off saying that there's like satanic imagery because there was a decapitated woman and flames. It's a death metal song, and the decapitated woman is Marie Antoinette. She's like a historical figure who was decapitated. Like, yeah, okay, maybe it's a little grotesque, but it's not demonic. Like I saw the word demonic flying around out there, and I'm like, guys, like, okay, you cannot like it, but like tone down the rhetoric just a hair back to like the rational, sane side of things. You can say, I find this offensive without going full blown, like, just like cuckoo bananas about it. Right. You know? And so anyway, but that guy's nuts were huge.
Yeah. They were just hanging out there, dude. It's like, come on.
At the end of the day though, like it was a shitty opening ceremony, except for the lighting of the torch was beautiful. Did you see
Snoop Dogg got to carry that thing at one point.
Got to carry that thing, but it's the way that they lit that hot air balloon and then it rose up over the Louvre at night in the rain.
So I didn't see that part.
And it just hovered like an orb above Paris, and it was suspended in air. It's like, and they could see it all the way over at the Eiffel Tower, and it was like a symbol of what the Olympic Games are about. I thought that was beautiful. And then you go to Celine Dion on the top of the Eiffel Tower singing in French in the rain with the piano next to her. Celine Dion, who had stiff person syndrome, where this is like her first performance of the year because she had to cancel all of her because of her health condition. Just cancel all of her performances. Is there on the top of the Eiffel Tower in the rain at night, looking out over Paris, singing with all of her heart, tears in her eyes, because you got to think to yourself, if you're Celine Dion, your entire life, every decision that you've made has led up to this point, right? This point it's everything you've done has led to this point of you singing at the opening of the Olympic Games at the top of the Eiffel Tower in Paris at night with the whole city below your feet in the rain. Like where else do you go from there? You are that is the mountaintop. Right. And so from that standpoint, I thought the end of the opening ceremony was amazing. The beginning, a little weird. End of the opening ceremony, nailed it. No notes. Wild card, bitches. They did a great job there.
I didn't see any of it live. I just saw the clips after the show. I was at a baseball game during the time, so it's I didn't have access to a TV. But man, from what I've heard, it just got roasted by people.
Yeah, it was weird. There was parts that were really, really weird, and there were parts that were really, really beautiful. It was a little uneven, and it's a classic case of trying too hard.
Oh yeah,
it's what
that's what it is. That was going to outdo
100%.
the other country. I'm curious what they're going to do with because the United States is coming in 2028, right, to LA.
Yeah. Like, listen, don't overthink it. Get a hologram of Biggie Smalls and just let him rap for the entire opening ceremony. Throw Tupac in there too. Like holograms of Tupac and Biggie Smalls with Dr. Dre and Eminem and Kendrick Lamar.
No Drake
rapping live.
No Drake.
Yeah, no F Drake. What?
No
like,
Drake.
Is this the Junior Olympics?
Yeah. Yeah.
Bazinga. Anyway, so the Olympics are underway. Team USA currently has the most medals, but not the most golds. Currently, Team Japan has the most golds because
my United States. Come on.
Because they won the gold and silver both in street skateboarding in the women's. And then they also won the gold in street in the male street skateboarding. They have 2 judo gold medals, 1 fencing gold medal, and an artistic gymnastics gold medal. But then also they have 4 bronze, one of those coming in the eventing in the eventing event. So eventing is the team equestrian event, right?
Oh, riding horses then, yeah.
So riding horses. So instead of calling it riding horses or equestrian or prancing on your pony or whatever you want to call it, pony prancing. They instead of calling it save a horse, ride a cowboy. It's the event is called eventing, and so the eventing team took a bronze in the eventing event for Japan. The team who won so France had the silver in the eventing event, and the gold in that went to, let's see here, the gold in the eventing event went to, I imagine it's probably England. Let's be honest, right? It's got to be England.
I'll say Russia. I feel like Russia would be a good one.
I think it was England. England took gold in the eventing event. But anyway, the United States have the most medals, but not the most golds. The only golds they have is they have 1 gold in fencing and 2 in swimming. One of those golds in swimming was the 4x100 men's relay. But that's all going to change once track and field hits, and also some more in the swimming, but then also really in the gymnastics too, right? The American women are crushing it. Like they were 5 points ahead of the next closest team in the all around in the team all around, which was Italy. But they also won. They were the leaders, and they won, I think, every single event. Suni Lee and Simone Biles were the 1-2 finishers on the night, and they're the 1-2. They're probably going to take gold and silver in the all around, and then U.S. might end up sweeping every single individual event.
Come on, USA!
In the actual events. And I tell you what, like, Americans love a redemption story, right? Like, we love an underdog. We love a redemption story. So we all know Simone Biles. She struggled with the mental blocks that she had last year, last Olympics that caused her to bow out and not compete fully in the Olympics. And so she came back to make a point to restake her claim as the greatest gymnast of all time to win the gold medal in this Olympics. And so we're all cheering her on. Oh, yeah. Everybody loves the comeback story. Everybody wants to see the comeback kid come back and get that gold medal. But then Suni Lee, who won the gold in her absence, the all-around gold in her absence last year for the last Olympics for the United States, herself was attending Auburn as a gymnast and got a rare kidney disease. She gained 45 pounds in 2 weeks because of this rare disease. Had to stop gymnastics entirely, drop off Auburn's gymnastics team. She thought her career was over. She went to the Mayo Clinic, numerous treatments. It was like 6 months of treatments before she finally became, she was in remission and she was cleared. She was out of the sport for over a year with these kidney issues. She thought she was going to lose her kidney, like that sort of thing. Like, it was like life-threatening illness that she had with these kidney issues, and she's in remission and she's completely rebounded back. And it's either going to be her or Simone Biles, they think, to win the gold. And they're both like favorites to go for the gold. And so the USA women's gymnastics doesn't just have one redemption story. It's got 2, and that's exciting. That's exciting to watch.
Let's go USA.
Let's go USA. And then also, I mean, this U.S. team is full of stories, as it always is. On top of that, you got the men's basketball team that's out there dominating. They rolled out in their opening round game and just laid the smack down. You also had the women's rugby team going for a medal for the first time in women's rugby history. They're in the semifinals. They have to face off against New Zealand, which are the defending gold medal champions. Right, the New Zealand took the silver, I think it was, in the 2016 Olympics, and in the 2020 Olympics they won the whole thing. New Zealand's known as one of the powerhouses of rugby in the world, but the women's USA team has been running roughshod over everybody. They just beat Team England, right? And you think England invented the sport, right? That's like England beating the United States in basketball, right? You know, like that doesn't happen. Right. And so it's pretty awesome that the women's rugby team did it. Super proud of them. All in all, though, I mean, I'm just handball. US doesn't have a handball team right now. What's up with that? Why didn't we qualify in handball?
Well, we also don't have we have yet to medal in handball, so that's probably why they've decided to back off on handball.
So far,
handball looks fun. Like I think I could get
Yeah.
down with handball. I think a lot of professional baseball players or former quarterbacks in the NFL would enjoy handball.
That's what I'm saying. Like we have the athletes. Why are we not better at some of these sports? There is no excuse for a smaller country to have better athletes at these sports because we have the people.
You know, we
just
never
need the
medaled
resources
in badminton either.
Well, badminton. I'll tell you what.
Or
I'll tell you what.
Table tennis.
Have you ever been to China?
I've watched clips.
I've been to China twice, and so I've been to Hong Kong twice, mainland China one time. I spent a month in mainland China, and when I was in mainland China, we're talking like you talk about like there's like, you know, like we have like clubs or we have like coaches that train specifically for like pitching coaches in the United States or you know whatever sports club you want, right? Like we have like soccer premier leagues and all this stuff where we're there, like youth leagues and that sort of stuff where we're training and developing soccer players. There are like I'm talking about in a single city, I probably saw 6 like youth badminton development clubs.
No shit.
Like kids, like all day, all afternoon. They get out of school, they go straight to the club, and they are just like playing table tennis. It was like table tennis and badminton, like those like pipeline of development in those two sports. And we're talking they are like going at it. And I don't see any way that we're ever going to catch up to China in badminton and table tennis because like there's legit significant resources and like participation in those two events. And like you don't think about it until you're there and you see it with your own eyes. It's not just like the cream of the crop out there, like in some random gym, like some dude who's like, I'm going to be the best badminton player, so I'm going to practice every single day. We're talking there is like a team of 30 youth badminton players, and they're picking like you're the best one, so you're the one that we're going to like cream of the crop, like cherry pick. That's right.
Nuts.
So
nuts.
So you gotta, I don't know, man. Like I want us to hammer the shuttlecock right in their faces and win the gold.
Especially with this big giant shuttlecock here in Kansas City. It's like, how come we're not like good at this?
Why don't we have a badminton development program
here in Kansas City?
Like here in Kansas City, next to the shuttlecock. Why don't they build one? Like a badminton court right there where I
don't know if Nelson Atkins would want to put a thing there, but I mean, we could try. There's not really much real estate we could work with, though.
You could like how big is a badminton court? Do like 2 indoor badminton courts that are like they're on the lawn next to the shuttlecock.
If this is like a feeder to like making this thing an Olympic sport, an Olympic dream to come here to train, I don't know. We need more room.
Well, you got to start somewhere, Kramer.
It's true. Very true.
But I mean, like get a grant. Like, come on, Quentin Lucas. Like, you couldn't get us a new stadium. Can you at least get us a badminton training ground? Like, can we at least we can't get a new Arrowhead pass? Can we get a damn badminton training ground so that we can at least so the USA can at least challenge the rest of the world and be respectful in badminton? Also, a handball training ground. Like, it's like there's not a lot of equipment needed for handball. You literally need a hand and a ball. It's in the name.
Like, you get a ball, you already have your hands.
Come on, Mayor Lucas. Like you like make Kansas City the premier destination for handball training in America. Like you have the resources. Like there's not a lot needed. Like anyway, but I digress, Kramer Sansone. Anyway, track and field's coming up. Sha'Carri Richardson, Noah Lyles, all the rest of the USA track and field is going to dominate. We're going to I have no doubt that our medal total is going to go up in the next coming weeks. So not scared, not worried about it a bit. But that being said, you are from the town of St. Joe. We're shifting off of the Olympics. You're from the town of St. Joe, as is my father, as was Jesse James, your Confederate hero.
No.
You know, the person who you dress up as Halloween, which is funny because you dress up as Jesse James for every Halloween, and then you forget, like, not even knowing it's Halloween. That's just what you dress up.
Oh, okay, yeah,
right. And then people say, "Oh, I like your Halloween costume," and you're like, "Oh, I forgot it was Halloween. This is just my Wednesday outfit.
My Wednesday,
where I dress up like Jesse James."
I don't think Jesse James had a mustache.
Hold on.
I don't think Jesse James had a mustache.
You sure?
I'm positive.
I think that Jesse James may have had a mustache at one point in his life. If not, Robert Ford at least did, right? Oh, yeah, this is Jesse James definitely with a mustache.
You have a mustache?
Not always. But
that famous one of Jesse James is a little goatee stuff.
Got a little goatee in one. He's clean shaven in one. But on this photo right here,
he wasn't even a good stagecoach rider. Like, he was a terrible one.
He had a beard when he died. But there is this photo right here. Let me share my screen for all the people who are watching us on Twitter. Because if you're not watching us on Twitter, guys,
YouTube.
you are Twitter. If you're not watching us on YouTube, you are missing
Twitter?
out on you know what Twitter is.
I have no idea what Twitter is.
If you're not watching us on YouTube,
X, gotcha.
You are missing out on primo content right now of us looking at and sharing pictures of Jesse James.
Okay, all right.
All right, so
what'd you type in? Jesse James mustache?
I typed in Jesse James. Okay, I literally Googled Jesse James.
Does he look like
the very first photo is Jesse James with a mustache.
Doesn't even look like him.
Well, yeah, because he had a mustache.
Or is that a beard? He has gray.
There he is with the goatee. Here he is looking like Davy Crockett. That's his funeral photo.
This man walked the streets of St. Joe.
This man walked the streets. He was born and raised in the streets of St. Joe. Yeah, and he looks a little bit like you. You sure you're not related to Jesse James?
I'm positive in the tree, the family tree, the family history tree. I can assure that I'm not related. Okay, why are we going to Robert Ford?
Are you related to Robert Ford at all?
No, definitely not related to Robert Ford.
Have you been to the Jesse James Museum there in St. Joe?
I've been there plenty of times as a kid. Not recently, like in the last 20 years maybe.
Did you put your feet and did you stand in the spot he was standing at? Right,
dude. I have no remembrance of. Oh,
when you go there, there's two footprints in the room where he was shot, and because it's in the museum is the house where he was shot. And you stand there.
Petty House. Is it Petty House? Yeah.
Yeah, you can put your feet where he was standing when he got shot and stand there. Then I did that as a child. I remember.
Yes. No, I'm starting to remember. Yeah. So, you're unlocking a core memory right now, dude.
Look at me. That's what I'm here for. Sorry, if it's actually a traumatic event that I'm unlocking, you remember now. You're just gonna have like a break. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Kramer. I take it back. I didn't mean to bring up. Yeah, so St. Joe is now also part of the Swifty pilgrimage destinations. Yeah, it is.
St. Joe's on the bingo card now. Nice.
Yep, Swifty fans are turning out in droves to see Travis Kelce and to.
Are they though?
With their Travis Kelce swag and their Travis Kelce friendship bracelets, and to the point that our own John Dixon at Arrowhead Pride recently on a message, with me and Pete Sweeney was saying that it's noticeable. It's noticeable that there is like that like the Swifty effect is that there's probably going to be permanent Chiefs fans that be like who are new to football that become lifelong Chiefs fans as a result of the Swifty effect because they are showing up to training camp and they are exposed to it now and they're getting indoctrinated.
And that's what makes the Chiefs America's team now. It truly does.
100%. Truly does. I mean, you got 13-year-old Swift fans coming out to watch training camp practices.
Okay. All right. Let's peel back the cover here. I've talked to some people who love football, but absolutely cannot stand going there.
Oh, it's awesome. I love going there.
Like one of my good friends was like, man, I don't know how you do it, Kramer. I thoroughly enjoy watching certain things when I go there. Like when I go to training camp, I'm seeking for individual assignments for myself to be like, I want to watch clearly the special teams. Like I'm there watching the special teams the entire time.
You're just watching James Winchester.
Dude, I don't
just locked it on James Winchester.
Locked in all the
just
time.
Just mean mugging him saying
that tight spiral he has. I think I can do better.
I'm taking your job, boy. Boy, I'm coming for your job, boy. Yeah, just like mean mugging James Winchester. Just evil eyeing them, trying to like poking a James Winchester voodoo doll on the sideline, hoping to get your opportunity someday to be the Chiefs long snapper.
One day. No, but
One
yeah,
day.
that's so Swifty's taking over St. Joe. Cool, that's awesome.
Swifty's taking over St. Joe.
Putting my city on the map.
Putting your city. Yeah, I wonder if they're going by. Is that the East Hills shopping mall?
Yeah, with the 3 stores that they have in there, JC Penney's.
Yeah. I wonder if they're stopping by the East Hills shopping mall and getting an Orange Julius on their way out of town.
Dude, there's better spots, people.
There's better spots. Yeah. All right. Last item on Pop Kingdom before we shift to actually talk about some real Chiefs stuff. Only an hour into the show. Kramer, you sent me a Twitter retweet.
Oh yeah, X post, yeah,
of Halle Berry this week, and old girl still got it.
Yes, sir. Her and her 2 kitty cats.
Her and her 2 kitty cats of her. She was wearing the Catwoman mask and not a whole lot else.
Yeah, I know.
She posted to X of her, and her holding 2 kitty cats, and they say the older the berry, the sweeter the juice. Kramer Sansone, and I showed it to my wife, and my wife was like, "Yeah, I get it." Like she was like, "Damn, like she's hot," and I was like, "Yeah, she is." And so, I'm speechless. Mrs. Berry or Ms. Berry, if you'd ever want to come on the show, open invitation.
Doors
you can host the entire show. You can host the show. Well, if you don't feel comfortable being on the show with us, we'll just see ourselves out, and you could just take over the show, and we'll just come back and listen to it at a later date.
Yeah, no, I'm cool with that too.
Yeah, whatever you need.
Wouldn't it be funny though if Halle Berry were like this? Like, yeah, I'll do it, boys, but you can't be there.
Yeah, she was like, "You guys, I don't trust you guys. You guys gotta get out of here." And I'd be like, "Yeah, no, I totally get it. I would make myself uncomfortable too if I didn't know me and I just saw myself." And so, but yeah, if she ever wants to come on the show, though, we'll give her. She can talk about whatever she wants, whatever topic she wants. Like open door for Halle Berry to literally use Veach season as a tool for anything she wants. She could come up and just spout flat Earth theory for 3 straight hours, and I wouldn't give a shit. I would just
I'll talk to her about it. I don't care.
Yeah, I would just nod and just dumbly and just wipe the drool from my mouth and say, "Yes, ma'am, Miss Berry. Whatever you want, Miss Berry." So
yeah,
Halle
Berry.
Halle, shout out Halle Berry. Halle Berry. Yeah. We love you, Halle Berry. And if you ever want to come on the show, big fans. Official Halle Berry Chiefs podcast.
Yep.
Beach season.
Beach season, baby.
All right. Shifting focus from Pop Kingdom over to now it's time for Chiefs update, which we don't have a song yet. So Kramer Sansone, acapella, the intro music for Chiefs update. 1, 2, 3, go.
Update. Update. Chiefs.
Waka 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 wow.
Is that good?
Oh, perfect. Crushed it. No notes. Look, Serta.
Sorry, Serta.
Serta, just rip that clip right there, and
please
we'll just
don't.
over
please
and over.
Don't.
Again. It'd be cool if he ripped that and just turned it into like this, like just some kind of like just unrecognizable like remix dubstep.
Yeah, I thought dubstep as well.
Whatever he does with it. Anyway, some updates. First week of training camp. First full week of training camp, and the pads are in the books. First full week of pad practice in the books, more accurately. And got some updates coming out of camp, provided by Pete Sweeney over Arrowhead Pride, also Ron Kopp Jr., and then various other agents we have on the ground at Chiefs training camp. We have our little sparrows out there at training camp gathering information, you being one of them, honestly. To pull back the curtain, one of our little sparrows that we have at Chiefs training camp is you.
True.
But out there gathering information and bringing it back for us, and then we take it and then we percolate it through our filter, and then we take it all, we weave it together into one cohesive narrative that we're now going to share with you. First thing first, you love special teams.
Yes, I do.
You love Dave Tobe.
Yeah,
you
Uncle Dave.
You love the new kick return rules.
It's gonna be fun.
So what would you do if I told you that Nico Remigio and Louis Rees-Zammit are taking all the first team reps at kick returner?
I love it, dude. I love it because I don't think McCole Hardman wanted to come back here to be a punt returner. Dude's getting old. I mean, it's probably father time's ticking on him right now, and I don't think it's where he wants to be is a punt returner or kick returner. But the fact that Nico and also Louis is just out there just getting first round reps that's promising. It's showing signs of these guys might be something, and these guys actually might put something out there for Chiefs Kingdom to be happy about.
Well, and the thing is if you're the starting kick returners, then that means that you're on the 53, which means that two other players are not on the 53 that are not the starting kick returners, who possibly in the past may have had kick return duties prior to you, namely being Kadarius Toney and Sky Moore. Sky Moore and Generic Prince are taking the second team kick returns. Today they were, and Sky Moore threw an interception on a kick return.
Okay,
so
I love the fact how the headline does say Sky Moore throws interception on a kick returns. It's like it's baffling that we're at this point in time in the NFL that this is actually happening. This isn't going to be the first time it's going to happen. This is going to happen into a game, and the fact that we're starting to see people get a little creative. Oh, I love it, dude. Rocky, I can't wait to see what people draw up, man.
I love, that they're going to be trying some crazy stuff, right? That being said, the fact that Sky Moore can't execute, and it's a training camp practice. You try to see what you can do.
You can't throw a football; you can barely catch it. So it's like, why do you think you can throw it?
Try to get away with. But the thing is that if you're a guy that's on the bubble and then you commit a turnover on a kick return rep, it's not looking good for you.
No.
Especially when with Clyde Edwards-Helaire being out, Deneric Prince was taking running back 2 reps today as well.
Interesting.
Which is interesting. Because guess who wasn't taking running back reps at number 2? Kadarius Toney. So Sky Moore and Kadarius Toney are firmly on the roster bubble. You have Dave Toub coming out and say that Nico Remigio is a consummate professional, that he is a pro's pro, and he loves what he brings in the special teams game, right? So you have Uncle Dave coming out making that statement. That tells you that Uncle Dave wants Nico Remigio on the team. Nico was showing out in preseason last year before he got injured. Mm-hmm. He worked out with Mahomes in the offseason. And if you read between the lines, he says he is a consummate professional, right? Who is not a consummate professional? Who is the guy where when he comes off the field, they're like, hey, man, don't get too high, don't get too low? Who's the guy that literally picked up a football and threw it at a defender in practice, which I love the dust ups at training camp. I don't care that much, but Andy Reid had to come over and tell Kadarius Toney to calm down at one point because he was threw a football at a defender after he got hit too hard. So you have Dave Toub coming out and this also being the same Kadarius Toney that may or may not have gone on Instagram Live last year and said some crazy shit.
Yeah,
right.
Forgot about that actually.
To where the team didn't deny it, right? They didn't deny it, and they thought that it was plausible. And then you have Dave Toub coming out and calling Nico Remigio a consummate professional. Read between the lines. He's saying Kadarius Toney is not a consummate professional.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I feel like you can see it with his body language at times, whether if it's during an interview or during a play or after a play, even like some positive things like that's happened where he may not have been into a play, but even his body language after a positive thing has happened that for the team. Like I think I've noticed that tenfold ever since he started showing up on the injury report and everything.
100%. And I think
he's going to collect the check. Let's be honest.
I think the fact that he was a healthy scratch at times last year is telling.
Yeah.
Right? Anytime a guy's a healthy scratch, especially when they try to say that they previously said that he was the most talented wide receiver on the roster. Like I don't think that Kadarius Toney's long for this world in the Chiefs uniform. And I don't know who else is really going to take a gamble on him if he does.
Not many.
If Andy Reid runs out of patience with him. The same goes for Sky Moore. I'm sure Sky Moore will catch on somewhere, but I don't think that the Chiefs are making any concessions to keep him on the roster this year if he doesn't go out and win a position. Like, he's going to have to go out and win a spot because there's too much competition in the wide receiver room. Pete was just saying on Twitter today that Montreal Washington is literally like he's like not just like underneath, but in the deep game, like he's stretching the field and winning deep balls.
Hell yeah,
Montreal Washington is showing out.
Go.
And he's gonna make it a difficult decision for Kansas City to not keep him on the roster, even though it doesn't really seem to be a space for him. But he is also taking kick return reps in practice.
He's a stud.
So I mean, I'm saying, and then there's also news coming out that Xavier Worthy has elite ball tracking ability, and that he is just completely showing out that he's not just speed, that he's the complete package, and that his ball tracking ability is elite. Like it might be the difference maker that could make him like one of the best wide receivers in the NFL. And I know this is all just like 11 on 11 training camp practices, yada yada yada, show it to me in the game. But one argument that I saw that actually makes a lot of sense to me is that as a true freshman at Texas, he came out and caught for over 1,000 yards and 12 touchdowns as an 18-year-old true freshman, right? Like, this is a guy who has produced off the bat everywhere that he's been. And so I don't see Sky and Tony making this team.
I don't either. I really don't.
I'm just saying it, like, at this point, I don't think either one of them has a chance to make this team. There's just not space for the Chiefs to try to wait for them to figure it out anymore. We're not a wait to figure it out roster. We're a championship going for a third straight Super Bowl roster. You don't have room on that roster for guys who are still trying to figure it out. Like you're either riding with us and you're going to help us win this championship, or if you can be on, if you make it through waivers, we'll put you on the practice squad, right? Maybe, but like, you're not making the 53.
So, I mean, I think Frank Reynolds of Always Sunny said it best. You got to cut the shit off this. You got to oh man, I just screwed this all up. You got to have cut the crust off the shit sandwich. Granted, the Chiefs aren't a shit sandwich whatsoever, but Kadarius Toney and Sky Moore, they're the crust. Like, there's a lot more better things on the sandwich that's in there. So it's like they're done. I don't think they're going to be in the Chiefs. And also, I just want to point out there, I can't stand the Bills. The fact that the Bills were able to allow the Chiefs to get one, Patrick Mahomes, and two, Xavier Worthy in their lie, and like give them to them. It's like, I cannot stand the Bills. The Bills, even Chiefs fans, you know this too. Beat the Bills anytime you can. Beat the Bills,
of course, but the difference is between the Bills and the Raiders is that the Bills are actually a threat to our Super Bowl run.
No, they're not. No. I
played them in the playoffs last year.
You still play, but the Chiefs going to that game last year against the Bills, I still to this day did not think the Bills were going to beat the Chiefs. Did not think whatsoever.
You didn't think the Bills were going to be? I mean, I didn't think the Bills were going to beat the Chiefs either. But I'm a Chiefs fan, right? I mean,
but when it's the time, whenever Patrick Mahomes is back against the wall, he's definitely going to succeed. What, 7 times out of 10? 70% of the time? Which that's still a very good high percentage.
I mean, I think that in the playoffs, I'm taking Patrick Mahomes 10 out of 10.
Oh yeah, well, clearly, but I'm just saying percentage-wise, like, I'm clearly going to take Patrick Mahomes 7 out of 10 times.
Yeah, 100%.
What research are you doing over there?
The research that I'm doing is stupid, and I'm loving it, and you're going to see here in a second, because so, the last time that the Oakland Raiders won a playoff game.
Yeah.
Do you know what the highest grossing film in the box office was?
How was it, Rudy?
Close. Kangaroo Jack.
Yeah, because it was like, what, 2003?
Yeah, Kangaroo Jack. I think it's 2006, right?
Was it
maybe
2000? They did
maybe
not
2003.
I promise you in my life, I've never seen a victory in a playoff setting for me watching football and with the Raiders playing.
All right, so Kangaroo Jack was in the box office.
Great movie for my young adolescent age.
But do you know what? Like we're talking like last year, when the Chiefs and the Bills played, now the Bills didn't win the playoff game, but I mean, like The Boy and the Heron was a top grossing film in the box office that weekend. That's a lot more recent of a film and a lot better of a film, if we're being honest. Classic Studio Ghibli filmmaker Hayao Miyazaki's swan song, The Boy and the Heron. But I'm just saying, like that's all you need to know. Kangaroo Jack was the top grossing movie in the box office last time the Raiders won a football game, won a playoff game.
Fun.
Yeah.
Thanks.
So you can just dwell on that. So there you go.
I don't dwell much.
Okay. By the time that the Chiefs season is over, you'll be a Chiefs fan.
I guess you keep talking about it. It might.
It has to. I mean, there's no other option at this point. They're going to three-peat. I'm saying it. I'm claiming it. I'm putting it out there. Other Chiefs news. Kingsley Suamatia is started today with the ones. Every rumor and what seems to be the intention coming out of camp is that the Chiefs want Kingsley to win the job. Wanya has looked good and more consistent at times, but they think that Kingsley has the tools and that he's putting it together. There's just a lot for him to digest coming in as a rookie. Wanya had kind of a redshirt year. He only played part-time. And when Creed Humphrey was asked about Kingsley this week, he said that he is nose in the book, staying locked in meetings, asking the right questions, just working his butt off, and that he's smart, asks the right questions, super athletic, and that he has all the tools and he believes that he's going to put them together. Obviously, that's what any teammate is going to say, but it seems to be like it's Kingsley Suamatia's job to lose right now. They want him to go out there and win the job.
You would have thought by now I think you would have solidified it. Yeah, Wanya is the guy. I feel like they would have done that by now, already. I can see Kingsley winning this role, but if they would have had Wanya to actually win it, they would have said it probably by the end of the season last year. I think they kind of knew when push came to shove, he had to come in there to help an injured player. He got hurt within that same exact drive as well. Came out, was out for about 2 quarters, came back in, finished the rest of the game out. But it's I don't know if you even have you have the heart to play, but do you have the attrition? Can you the body hold up? Can your mentals catch up to speed? Because in your mindset, you know that you can do it. I don't have any questions for you doing it, but there's a lot better elite level players across from you that's getting past you. We're trying to protect our guy. They've seen that get past, and now it's time to move on.
And one thing that Creed said about Kingsley was that his technique is on point.
That goes a long way on the offensive line.
And so I think that it's just a matter of time of him getting reps at this point. So even if he doesn't start the job at the number one, I think it's not if but when he becomes the starting left tackle at this point. Also, in other news, with L'Jarius Sneed leaving the secondary and going to the Tennessee Titans, Steve Spagnuolo said today that he is waiting for somebody to step up and take that second outside cornerback position across from Trent McDuffie. Trent McDuffie, for his part, said that he is embracing that L'Jarius Sneed role and so that he'll follow the number one receiver all over the field like Sneed did last year. Spags said he's just going to keep rotating in Najee Johnson, Joshua Williams, Jalen Watson when he comes back, and then Kelvin Joseph, who played with the ones today with injuries. Kelvin Joseph's been getting a lot of run. Ron Kopp Jr. actually, when he was out at camp, said that he looked really, really good. And so it seems like Kelvin Joseph may have an inside track, because especially today, he was with the ones and Joshua Williams was with the twos. Now, I know that Spags is probably just trying to get a look at it, but it seems like Spags is just waiting for somebody to step up and just claim the damn job. You want to be the starting cornerback, then step up and take the job, right? And so, which it sucks because it seems like that's not what Kamal Haddon's doing right now either.
That's what we want. That's what we want to step up.
Yeah, and so who knows? I still think that when Najee Johnson comes back and is healthy, that I think that's who Spags wants. I think if you push come if you got Spags drunk and got a little truth serum in him, got a little truth juice in him,
Give him a little some wine. He's
I think
Italian.
he would say that he wants Najee Johnson to be the other guy, but he just can't stay healthy.
Yeah.
Instead.
I would like that. I honestly have no idea. I think it's everybody has a unique set of just being able to defend. I would hope it's Najee that comes through, but Joseph might have the upper hand between the three.
I mean, at this point, he has the experience.
True, and I'd rather have that goes a long way.
Too. Joshua Williams does as well, but Joshua Williams, like, he just doesn't seem to be a guy that Spags trusts to play on an island.
Which that's an odd thing too, because he's so lengthy. Like, you would think you could cover some ground, but I mean,
with that length though, I think you lose some change of direction.
True.
And so I think maybe that's the
I like my long arm receivers or the defenders.
Well, so do I. I love him. I like Joshua Williams a lot, but I think that Spags isn't 100% sold on him as a starter, as like the opposite starter on that side of the field. Now, that being said, Brian Cook, Chamari Connor, and Nick Jones, by all accounts, are looking awesome this training camp. Justin Reed's been banged up, but it's a quad injury. I don't think it's anything serious. I think he'll be back by the start of the season. So that being said, the Chiefs safeties are in a really, really good position because you also have Jaden Hicks, also, who the Chiefs are really high on. And so Spags is going to run a lot. He's going to run 3 safeties as his base this year. So maybe that takes a little bit of the pressure off of that outside. Maybe they're able to shade a little bit on the slot routes from the outside, so that to jump any sort of slant, so that all that the outside cornerback has to do is worry about the outside perimeter, right? Maybe that sort of thing. Who knows? But really, best case scenario is somebody steps up and takes the job. The other thing that's looking good. We talked about Worthy being the real deal. Hollywood Brown also looks like the real deal. Rashee Rice looks fast and athletic. It looks like this is probably going to be the best receiving core the Chiefs have had in the Patrick Mahomes era, like hands down. And so he's literally going to throw for 1 bazillion passing yards this year.
So 6,000 yards.
6,000 yards, right? Put it in stone. 6,000 yards and 55 touchdowns. That's my prediction.
There's only the highest touchdowns last year is 34. I'm pretty sure of Dak Prescott. I would shatter that.
So 21 more. That's it. Just 21. You don't think Patrick Mahomes is 21 touchdowns better than Dak Prescott?
Oh, not by far. Yeah. No, the 28 touchdowns more. God, man, that's
Okay. What's the most touchdowns in the history of the NFL in a single season? Is it 52?
Isn't it 52?
Right? Patrick Mahomes is going to set the record.
55?
55. Yeah, 55. So the most touchdowns in a single season. Most touchdowns in a single season is 55. Peyton Manning in 2013. So
Broncos.
Patrick Mahomes, 56 touchdowns this year, 6,000 yards receiving. Put it in stone.
Do it. Come on, Pat.
Put it in stone. Write it down. Listen, if Patrick Mahomes throws 56 touchdowns and 6,000 yards, I'm going to tattoo that right here on my forearm.
As you should.
I'm gonna tattoo PM 15 6K 56 right there on my forearm. So I can look down and see it always. And then underneath it, I'm gonna put Kramer Sansone is now a Chiefs fan.
Oh, because of the. All right, if that's the case, I'll get the Chiefs logo then.
And then I'll get 3P underneath it. I'm just having an entire just words written, just random strings of words written on my forearm.
What has better odds, the Chiefs winning another Super Bowl or Mahomes throwing for 6,000 yards and throwing 56 touchdowns?
Chiefs winning the Super Bowl by far. I think so. They've already done it twice. Mahomes has never thrown for 6,000 yards.
And he could have. This could be the year.
I think it's going to happen. Hey, I just called it, right?
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. It's
this isn't hyperbole. I think Patrick Mahomes is throwing for 56 touchdowns this year. I think
if that's the case, then the Chiefs will have to win the Super Bowl.
They'd have to. Well, they don't have to win the
true,
Super Bowl.
You're right. They could get upset,
but they will. They will win the Super Bowl.
Interesting. I guess we'll have to find out. I guess we'll have to figure out how the season plays out when we watch it week by week.
We're gonna have to. Last thing before we get out of here is that FAU looks to be making some real strides. Looks like he's still a little bit raw and has some development to do, but that work with Tamba Hali in the offseason, that Veach season favorite Tamba Hali work in the offseason has paid off. So yeah, so looks like the Chiefs may have another pass rusher that's coming along. So sorry NFL, sorry Raiders, sorry everybody. Three-peat is in the hopper, baby, and it's looking like I'm excited. I don't think I've been this high on a Chiefs team in a while, which means the pessimist in me is saying that I'm setting myself up for disappointment. But we just won back-to-back touchdowns. We just won back-to-back Super Bowls. So no pessimism.
Rocky, if I had my spray bottle for my catch, I'd be spraying you right now. Stop that. Stop.
No, there's no pessimism. We're gonna win the Super Bowl. We're gonna three-peat, baby. And then guess what? And then if the Royals don't win the World Series this year, they're winning it in 2025.
Yeah.
Why? Because we're gonna have Jack and Bobby going back-to-back, the new Bash brothers.
I don't know I'm not sure if Jack's going to be there next season. It'd be impressive if he does make it. Heck, it'd be impressive if he makes it there by the end of this year.
Yeah, but I'm saying just coming out of spring training next year. Come on, it'd be awesome. Or by the end of a September call up next year, you could definitely do that.
He could be a September call up this year. Like
but that's what I'm saying though. But for the World Series next year, if they win the World Series in 2025,
they'll make it. Let's have an I-70 World Series. I'll be down with that.
I'm down with that. I'm down with us winning an I-70 World Series, not us losing an I-70 World Series. I don't want to lose anything in life, Kramer. I'm a winner. Sorry,
I'm a Cardinals fan.
Yeah, well, see, I'm a Royals fan. So we're kind of in the same boat there a little bit.
I love you.
Not this year. All right. Well, I love you too, buddy. Hey, and everybody who's listening to the show and who's hung out with us for an hour, 22 minutes of listening to us talk of this meandering journey of whatever it is we talked about today. We love you too. We need the 5-star reviews because listen, we got a hot lineup of shows, guys, right now. We have obviously Veach season. We have the Daily Fix with Ron Hughley is now out. It's coming out every single day. Check it out. It's awesome. He just breaks down all the day's events, almost in kind of like an around the horn type of format. Great British Chiefs show is back as well. Show and BK is still going on. We had training camp updates this week with Pete Sweeney. We got Pete Sweeney over here on the new pod network, y'all. We landed a big fish. Boys. We got the Pete Sweeney over here on Foolish Club Media giving training camp updates. And then the biggest new show of all, the top in the charts, the hottest show in the podcast world right now. Chiefs Comments with Kramer Sansone coming to you every Thursday, Kramer?
Yeah, every Thursday at 2:30.
Tell everybody what to expect.
So it's basically your comments on the Chiefs season that I'm going to interact with you about it, and it's a live show. So at 2:30, you can pop in our YouTube, pop in our X app, and you can chat with me throughout the entire time. We'll just talk Chiefs. I'm basically talking Chiefs with you all and give you my perspective of things going on with the Chiefs world.
Can I pop in and just troll you sometimes?
Oh, you are more than welcome to, Rocky. Like I'm being serious because here's the thing. Like you know how there's a rule here that any comment we get that's 5 stars, we read it. Whatever comment they send me there, I'm reading it. So like I had something about maybe it's Travis Kelce falling off the shelf this year. It might be the peak is gone. He's going the downward tilt down the slope. It might be this year, and I discussed it, and I was like, you know what, that ain't happening.
I'm gonna make you say something really horrible on the air that's gonna get you canceled.
Well, hey, it reflects you too, buddy.
It's gonna be like at the oh yeah, it's true because I was thinking
your burner account ready.
Like Saturday Night Live weekend update every year. Colin Jost and Michael Che write jokes for each other that they have to read. Yeah, I'm gonna create a burner account and just make you say horrible things on air that you have no choice but to say.
Oh man, Rocky, you're giving people ideas now.
Yeah, well, we're in election season too, so I'm sure there's plenty of material to work with, especially if I'm writing from a burner account. Anyway, but we digress as we always do. Leave us 5-star reviews. We have to read them online. We love you guys. Thank you. Hope we earned you the privilege of your time for checking us out. As always, love each other, be there for each other, be good to each other, and we'll talk to you guys next week.